Yo, peace, 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 peace to everybody watching in. Peace to everybody who's going to see this on a replay. I'm going to be going over adverse possession. All the naysayers, going to be proving them wrong. So tune in, check me. So I'm going to do a quick video. All right, peace. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick video over some of the history of adverse possession. Really been getting some feedback, good and negative. I want to go over the negative concepts that people have out there regarding adverse possession. And really, it's a simple process once you learn the nuances of it all. And a lot of people like to call it a scam based on their own ignorance. And so it's easily provable that this is legitimate. And I have so many sources that I've already proved to people. But I'm going to let a little bit more people get in here because I can't do just 7. So y'all let me know if you want to hear about this. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all want me to go over this, put a 1 in the chat. Get my likes up. All right. And again, I'm not going to go over every. Damn, hold on. Just messed up my thing. Yeah, I'm not going to go over everything in this live, just a little bit about the history of it so people can get their foundation correct. Because once you get the history of it, it's easily, everything else seems easy. Well, that's how it happened for me. Make sure y'all share this out. I'm going to start in a little bit because I don't want to be on here too much long. Let me see if I can invite some people. Tell me where y'all tuning in from. Have y'all heard about adverse possession, good or bad? I want to know y'all thoughts about adverse possession. Is it intimidating? Do y'all think adverse possession is intimidating? What do y'all think about adverse possession? North Carolina, that's what's up. Ohio's new to you. Yeah, it's the concept is new to a lot of people. However, the actual practice of adverse possession is ancient. Okay, it's new to y'all. Okay, so if you haven't seen my videos, which I'm sure most of you have, I use adverse possession to claim a $250,000 house. Long story short, like I started off the year 2019, I was evicted from my apartment, found this house, blah, 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 did adverse possession, and now I'm still here. That's the short version of the story. But I'm going to go into details over there in the future. I plan on doing more classes on it. I'm trying to get everything organized over here. But the process is doable. You just got to be diligent in your research. And again, this is why I'm going over the foundation because I had nobody go over this foundation with me. So once you learn this foundation, it's easy for you to defend it if you ever have to. And I say ever have to because like there are stories out there where the police get called on people and stuff like that. The police was called on me. But since I was studying all this for years, I knew exactly what to say. I made my own personal like what to say if the police come over here and stuff like that. And everything that I put in there actually happened. And part of my experience is because that happened, I know how to deal with the police because one of the police that actually came over here, his first question was, "Do you live here?" And I told him, "Yeah." And so right off the bat, he told me, "Well, since this is a civil matter, and so I have no jurisdiction over civil matters." And so they couldn't do anything after that because you got to understand, adverse possession is civil. It has no criminal penalties. It has no criminal penalties, meaning you can't go to jail. Oh, we already got one in here. So you stole a house. No, how could I steal a house? Y'all got to think, people got to think about that concept. Like, how can you steal a house for 4 years? Might I add? How can somebody be in a stolen house for 4 years? Yeah. Thank you, Sasha. But like even that question, like that's part of the pushback that people will always say is like, oh, so you stole a house? It's a scam, motherfucker. Shut up. You don't know the law. It's like this whole country is founded somehow. But anyways, let's get into the history because these people about to get my blood pressure up. Let's get into the history. Thank you, Sasha. Hold on, let me learn how to fix this shit. All right. Damn, it's been a minute. Thanks. The first thing I'm going to read to you American jurisprudence. We're going to talk about abandoned, lost, and unclaimed property. Why? Because when you do an adverse possession, you want to get abandoned properties. I found one that actually had a note welcoming me to my new home. Okay. All right. Common law. The first thing. So when you go to the law library, American jurisprudence, you look in this section, first thing on there is going to be common law. Under common law, there are 4 categories of found property, including money, which are abandoned property, lost property, mislaid property, treasure trove, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to read everything. Decline. The law of fines is a common law principle granting title. Y'all see that, right? Granting title to the first party to discover and reduce to possession unknown or abandoned artifacts found in the sea. The law of fines is summed up succinctly as finders keepers. So we all heard this growing up: finders keepers, losers weepers, right? So like I always like to say, the example that I like to give is so if you find some money in the street, is that now yours? Are you stealing that money? Or if somebody lost it and you find it, it's technically yours. Man, I got some bots trying to join my live. But anyways, so let's go to this thing. Common law of fines expresses an ancient and honorable principle of finders keepers. So let's go to that law case, which I already have pulled up here. Northeast Research LLC versus one shipwrecked vessel, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to start right here. The law of salvage generally governs efforts to save vessels in distress. And obviously, when you read this case, it's going to be talking about ships. But the principles don't change, and you're going to read that. Under the law of salvage, rescuers take possession of, but not title to, the distressed vessel and its contents. Conversely, hold on, Quantra, I'm going to answer that right after this. Conversely, the law of fines vests title to property that is abandoned or which has never been owned in the finder. Okay. Conversely, the law of fines vests title to property that is abandoned or which has never been owned in the finder. Applying the ancient and honorable principle of finders keepers to steam vessel, the Republic, blah, blah, blah. So there you have it. It's an ancient and honorable principle of finders keepers. So that's part of what I'm going to be going into as far as adverse possession, because you can use those same principles and apply it to adverse possession. And where's my fucking book? I had another book over here that I was going to show you. Hold on, y'all. Got so many damn books around here. Where's that book at? All right. So Quantrell asks, does this apply to civil law? So let me show you. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to say shortly, yeah, because adverse possession is a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. So you can't get locked up for doing adverse possession unless you got crooked cops, which they are out there. Okay? And so let's go to this case because we're talking about principle. As we plunge into the merits of the appeal, we must first acknowledge that there is a generic question as to when the law finds the ancient and honorable principle of finders keepers applied to property retrieved from the ocean floor. Again, this is another case dealing with shit that was found in the ocean, but they give principles on ancient and honorable principles of finders keepers. So now let's take that and we're going to go into adverse possession because again, talking about the common law. Adverse possession is a common law principle. So now when we go to the governing law, adverse possession is an amalgam of statutory and common law and is governed by both common and statutory law. In some states, adverse possession may be established either under the common law or pursuant to statutory provisions. Now remember, this is all law sources: American jurisprudence, adverse possession. And I went to the law library, I printed all these out and brought them home so I can read to people. And here we have this one, corpus juris secundum, adverse possession, once again. So we're dealing with nothing but the law. There's no opinions. Matter of fact, I want to find that book. So hold on real quick, y'all. I got to find that book real quick. Let me set this shit up here. All right, where's that fucking book? All right, here it is. All right, dealing with common law. Okay, so get this book in your library, Maxims of Law, because these are dealing with fundamental principles of law. And like I just read to you, the ancient principles of this law. So, let me find it. Where is it at? LMN. Trying to find property. Is it on the property? Property rights? No, maybe land. It's on land. All right. Land, real estate. Okay? These are the maxims of law dealing with land and real estate. So, we're dealing with adverse possession. Land lying unoccupied is given to the first occupant. Land lying unoccupied is given to the first occupant. So, like with this house, it was lying unoccupied, and I happened to see it. I did my research. I noticed the grass was really high, and guess what? It's unoccupied. No one, the owners died, and so it was just sitting there. Well, finders keepers. And a lot of people here, a lot of people can't accept that concept because of due to our indoctrination, we think that we have to go the traditional route. But this is just another method of gaining title to property, and it's very fucking legal and it's easily provable. All states have adverse possession laws, period. And I looked all of them up, and in my ebook, I put all the adverse possession states and all the adverse possession laws from each state in that ebook. But this week, I was going through my library again, and I found some other sources. Hold on, y'all. See, I have all these fucking books, and it's hard for me to find shit. Okay, I think it's this one. I was just going through shit, right? And I forgot I had this shit. I forgot I had this book. Methods of acquiring title to real estate. You should help the homeless. Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get other people to do this so we can help the homeless. That's one of my biggest goals. Okay, so here's the methods of acquiring title to real estate. So you have your purchase. This is what everyone thinks the only way is, or this one, or inheritance and gift. But down here it has adverse possession. So why is this real estate law book, real estate law, not my opinion, Miss Deborah, she put this in here. This is a method of gaining title to property. The doctrine of adverse possession was derived from the English common law, which is not even derived from the English common law, goes back further than that. Although many states have enacted statutes governing the subject, the doctrine provides that one may obtain ownership of real estate interest by taking possession for a certain period of time and holding it in a manner adverse to the legal owner. And this is where everybody thinks it's like you have to go in there and like kick out the owners or something, or if the owners are away from the property. I wouldn't try to find properties like that because earlier today I had someone actually find a property. Well, he told me that he found the property and the owners died and blah blah blah. And so tomorrow I'm going to be hooking up with him and we're going to go to the actual property and I'm going to help him out and do this whole process. And yes, I'm going to be recording it and blah blah, and I'm going to show people. The adverse include a requirement that the party claiming title by adverse possession shall not have been in possession by permission of the legal owner. And this sounds like a whole bunch of legal jargon, but again, you just have to do your research on your own time. I don't plan on like going over everything today. I just want to go over the basic concepts in history. So, speaking of history, let's go to Fraley versus Menger, Indiana Supreme Court, 2005. Now, hold on. I gotta search ANCIE. Okay, common law. All right, here we go. Common law adverse possession. Again, history time. I think that's why some are off the market than yet for sale. So, I'm going to talk about that too. God, there's so much to talk about. Actually, I'm going to show you something real quick. Because I've been talking to some realtors around my area, and some of my friends are realtors, and somebody hooked me up to this site called batchleads.io, and basically you have to pay for this, obviously, but this is where a lot of attorneys and real estate investors use. And so you can actually get so specific in here where you can find properties that are abandoned and they are mortgage free, meaning they don't have a mortgage on the property. So I just dropped a gem for y'all, and I hope y'all got that. I'm not going over it again. Again, that's batchleads.io. I think for the full premium version to do all that, you got to pay like $20, $49 or something per month. But I'm just going to get it for 1 month and see how many properties I can find. Okay, common law adverse possession. The common law doctrine and application of adverse possession has a long history. As early as 2250 BC, the Code of Hammurabi discussed adverse possession and the misuse of land, including provisions that punished land waste, rewarded long-term development, and allowed one who worked the land of another for 3 years to take and keep the land. And this is the sources. Squatters' rights, which that word squatter is misleading. A lot of times you're going to see squatter, but you got to understand this is a colloquial term. It's not a term at law. So when people try to do adverse possession, they're going to try to label you as a squatter, which you're not. And let me read the definition of why you're not a squatter and what the law book says about squatters. Squatter, in American law, one who settles on another's land, particularly on public lands without legal authority. So right there, it's illegal. A person entering upon lands not claiming in good faith the right to do so by virtue of any title of his own or by virtue of some agreement with another whom he believes to hold the title. Now here's a good one. A squatter can never gain prescriptive title, which is adverse possession, to land, regardless of how long he holds possession, since his possession is never considered as adverse possession. So when they're saying squatters' right, just know that it's misleading. You're not a squatter. You're an opportunist. You're a finder, whatever, but don't let the people call you a squatter. I wonder if you can sue for slander when they label you that. Shit, I wonder if you can sue for everything. They label us black, but we're not going to go there. Okay, so let's go back to here. Again, more history. In England, right here, the history of adverse possession can be traced back to the Norman conquest in 1066. The common law doctrine of adverse possession was applied to resolve land disputes between colonists in Virginia as early as 1646, where it was used in an effort to help resolve the proverbial conflicts between speculators and squatters. The first statutory recognition of adverse possession in the quote unquote New World, which is bullshit, appeared in a 1715 statute of limitations in North Carolina. So, for the motherfuckers who be on here talking about, oh, that's legal theft, it's not legal theft. The law says what it is. And I know these people don't read the law because they wouldn't be talking shit to me. I got the sources, I got the proof, and I'm trying to give it to the people. But let's go here. Speaking about the law, constitutional and statutory provisions. Statutes permitting and controlling the acquisition of title by adverse possession are valid. They are to be strictly construed. In general, such statutes have a prospective application only. Statutes relating to acquisition of title by adverse possession are constitutional. That says nothing about your opinion. Statutes relating to acquisition of title. So if you want to gain a title, this is another method, like I just read in the other book. Statutes relating to acquisition of title by adverse possession are constitutional. The legislature has the power to enact such legislation provided that the former owners have a reasonable time after the enactment to assert their rights, which is why you put people on notice. And I'm going to go over a little bit of the procedures and what I did, because in Oklahoma, they don't have a specific statute telling you to do adverse possession. You have to go around and it's like a puzzle. So, filing or recording notice. When applicable, statutes requiring the filing of notice of claim in certain cases will be given effect. Generally, adverse possession statutes do not require that a written instrument upon which an adverse possession claim is grounded to be recorded in order to provide notice of adverse possession to the true owner. Now, that's generally. But again, like in Oklahoma, you're going to have to do all this stuff because there's no real statute just saying that you have to do, that you have to do X, Y, and Z. You have to go figure out. They send you on a fucking trail, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Let me try to find it. So, Title 16, conveyances, and where's the other one? Property. You know what? That's going to take too long. I have it in my folder already. When is the Moors going to control white people again? All right. Time for you to go. 16. Okay. So this is the one I was trying to find up there. Because again, it was talking about notice of claim, right? Filing your claims. So this is how I started mine off. Yeah, he wilding. I'm like, bro, I'm talking about adverse possession. Motherfuckers talking about controlling people. Matter of fact, get your goofy ass out of here. Can't stand niggas like that. All right, sorry about that. I had to block him out. Damn, niggas just be coming in here talking stupid shit. All right, where was I at? Thank you, Sasha. All right, notice of claim. Notice of claim. Again, sorry. Shit like that just like throws me off completely. Notice of claim. This is how I started my adverse possession claim. The notice of claim required to be filed in Section 2 hereof shall contain an accurate and full description of all land affected by such notice. The notice shall set forth clearly the basis for and the extent or nature of the claimant's alleged interest. This is your adverse possession interest. And why is that? Let's go back here. Nevertheless, a statute providing that a person who, without color of title or bona fide claim of purchase or inheritance, enters on real estate and asserts adverse possession must give notice by filing in the office of the probate judge a written declaration setting forth their claim will, when applicable, be accorded effect. However, it does not apply to rightful possession, a claim by prescription, or possession under color of title or bona fide claim of purchase or inheritance. So this is why you will have to do a notice of claim. And I said I wouldn't get this far, but all this shit flows together. So I guess I'll show y'all something real quick. If I can find it. Yeah, Sasha, no more making runs. I need my peoples in here. I need my shooters on deck. Where is it? All right, I think it's in here. So, American jurisprudence legal forms, 2D, adverse possession. All right, so this is going to be on your legal forms, notices, form drafting guide. So this is what I like about this one because it gives you the guide. This is all the things, this is a checklist that you need. The name of person given notice, the identification of persons to whom address. This is the so-called owners. Date claiming took possession. This is when you took possession. Description of the property. Act of ownership. Like these are all the things you're going to need in this notice. And they even give you the little templates. And it doesn't have to be that long. It's not that long. Notice of claim of adverse interest by possessor. And there's another one. And here's the affidavit of adverse possession. And once you file this, now the cops definitely can't do anything because your ass is on the record. And if I was organized, I would tell you exactly which statute it was, but I'm not organized. But let's go back to the notice of claim and read all this shit. The notice of claim shall set forth clearly the basis for, which is your adverse possession, and the extent or nature of the claimant's alleged interest, and be signed, acknowledged, and filed for record in the county clerk's office of the county or counties where the land described therein is situated. The county clerk of each county shall accept all such notices presented. It says all of them. So they have to accept all these notices presented to him or her, which describe land located in the county in which he or she serves, and shall enter, record, and index the same in the same way that deeds are recorded. So the same way you can get a deed recorded is the same way you get these notices recorded. They got to put in the same index. And each county clerk shall be entitled to charge the same fees for the recording thereof as are charged for recording deeds. And indexing such notices in his or her office, each county clerk shall enter such notice in the index of deeds, in the numerical index of deeds. The names of the claimants appearing in such notices are to be entered as grantees in such indexes. So again, it's kind of like you putting a deed on record. That's what this index is. Also, this is recording affidavit. So this is where you do your affidavit, like in Oklahoma, recording affidavit rebuttable presumption. An affidavit covering matters named in Section 83, Section 83 of this title may be recorded in the office of the county clerk in the county in which the real property is situated. There shall be a rebuttable presumption that facts stated in a recorded affidavit are true as they relate to real estate, its use, or its ownership. And all things in the public operate off of assumptions, presumption, and color of law, which is why they actually have a color title. And all that simply means, and here's a little cheat, because I don't like teaching people this because it can lead to fraud. But let's say you find a property and you want to get it switched over to your name ASAP. You know the owners are dead or whatever. This right here lets you kind of put a little cheat code in there because everything's operating off of presumptions, assumptions, and color of law. No subscribing witness shall be necessary to the validity of any deed, mortgage, contract, lease, bond, or other instrument conveying, affecting, or relating to real estate. So what that's saying is you don't need a notary to file a deed. Now, if you think about that, it's fucking crazy because you don't know what's real deeds out here anymore. And these banks are doing fraud every day. So who's to say that they're not doing this shit? Because again, everybody's under presumption that all this shit is legitimate anyways. No subscribing witness shall be necessary to the validity of any deed, mortgage, contract, lease, bond, or other instrument conveying, affecting, or relating to real estate. Now, again, it's Oklahoma. This is their statutes. This is not me. I just put all this shit together. So this was talking about a recording of affidavit, which is the affidavit of adverse possession, which I just had and I lost again. Okay. So now, Title 83 or Section 83, if you do a notice of claim to the Brent president, he can't respond either. Psh. Put everything through newspaper. Matters to which affidavit may relate. The affidavit may relate to the following matters. I'm not going to read that. Possession and residence. This is the two main things that's in here. Possession and residence. Why? Because when you do your affidavit of adverse possession, you're talking about possession and residence. So, again, rebuttable presumption. So it's presumed that your affidavit is true. It's presumed that your affidavit stands as law until someone challenges it. Okay? And so, like in my situation, it's not going to be challenged because the owners died. So all I have to do, well, I'm not going to explain everything that I have to do. That's for my private people. You got to get the ebook to get my private class. So this is what I mean. The affidavit of adverse possession. This is where the affidavit comes into handy. Okay? Recording the affidavit, rebuttable presumption. Matters to which affidavit may relate. Okay, and again, in Oklahoma, they make you do this little puzzle. You have to go find all this stuff over here. You got to go through in and out titles to find all this stuff because in Oklahoma, unlike other states let you, they'll just have adverse possession statute in itself. And it makes it really easy. But for me, I had to go find all this stuff out, which makes it better for me because now I know how to defend everything because I know where everything is. So, indexes to be kept. I have the ebook. Can I get the private class? All right, peace. Each register of deeds shall keep an index of deeds direct and inverted, and an index of mortgages direct and inverted. So again, the same indexes where the mortgages are placed. The index direct and inverted of deeds and mortgages shall be divided into columns with heads to the respective columns as follow. So whenever you file your notice of claim or your affidavit of adverse possession, you're going to be in this index as a grantee. Why? Because if we go to Title 16, it's conveyances. Conveyance is transfer of titles. That's what conveyance means. I didn't do the private class yet. I'll probably do it after I come back from vacation. So sometime next month, but I'm only going to do it for people who bought the ebook. And I'm going to be showing them more ways how to find abandoned property. But to get the ebook, you just click the link in my bio on TikTok or Instagram. So yeah, going back to conveyances. This is where let's see if we can find a definition. All right, let's go here. A conveyance is the transfer and assignment of any property right or interest, adverse interest, from one individual or entity, the conveyor, to another, the conveyee. This is usually accomplished through written instrument, which again, your written instrument, your notice of claim, affidavit of adverse possession. Most often a deed that transfers title to or creates a lien on a property. Some sources of authority consider the written instrument itself a conveyance, which deed is also synonymous with conveyance. And again, a dude asks if it's applicable in civil matters. It is a civil matter, all in itself. But yeah, I wasn't supposed to even get into all that today. I'll save all that for next time. So if you have any questions, I'll take a couple questions real quick because my babies just got home. Do y'all have any questions? Was that too much information? Was it too much or was it too fast? How do y'all feel about the information? How do y'all feel about the information? Let me know. And I didn't even get into the book. I didn't even get to all the stuff heavy anyways. Like I said, I got to get it all organized because um, this is my notice that I did in the newspaper. It's right here. I read everything, but I need step by step, please. All right, that's cool. Do you work with a team? I'm not working with the team. I did pretty much all this by myself, but I am about to meet with somebody tomorrow and possibly partner with him because he doesn't know what to do with the house. I do. And so I'm going to go A to Z. I'm going to help him out with everything. I'm going to go with him to the county clerk office. I'm going to show him how to file an affidavit of adverse possession and everything. So even if the county clerk try to gatekeep like they tried to do me, I know how to push the issue to make them do this stuff. Do you do consulting? Yes, I do consulting. All right, D. Frank, we're just going to keep it on adverse possession for now. Oh, Sasha, you did a remittance? Okay, what's the info? Slide in them DMs. Do you have any questions? Can you tell us about trespassing? Oh, thank you. Great question. Great question. Trespassing. That's another issue that people have problems with. So here's what I'll say about that. Um, Entry on land. That is a great question. Glad you brought that up. Let's talk about trespassing because adverse possession trespassing. So, entry on land. In order to initiate actual possession and start the statute of limitations running, it is necessary that there be an actual entry by the adverse claimant on the land amounting to an ouster or disseisin of the owner. This is true even though claimant has color of title or a junior or an inferior title, or even though the claimant holds title to adjoining tract. Where is that place at? Okay, I think it's over here. Adverse possession may be initiated by a trespass or unlawful entry, but may not consist solely of mere acts of trespass. Now, that sounds contradictory, but it's a little nuance in there. You have to get in there somehow, but it's based on your intent. That's the issue. Your intent has to be to claim the place as your own. So let me read that again. Um, Adverse possession may be initiated by a trespass or unlawful entry, but may not consist solely of mere acts of trespass. Now, let's go to Oklahoma law. This is another thing that I printed out for the cops. This is the breaking and entering statute. Entering building or other structure with intent to commit felony, larceny, or malicious mischief. Breaking and entering dwelling without permission. And we're going to skip that and we're going to go straight to B because this leaves you a little out in here. Every person who, without the intention to commit any crime therein, shall willfully and intentionally break and enter into any building, trailer, vessel, or other premises used as a dwelling without the permission of the owner, which it has to be adverse to the owner, or occupant. Damn, can y'all stop trying to hold on? People keep trying to get in here. So, without the permission of the owner or occupant thereof, except in the cases and manner allowed by law, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So, except in the cases and manner allowed by law, is what I just read to you. Adverse possession. So this is how you beat any criminal. So like, let's say they're saying they're trying to charge you with breaking and entering. It's not breaking and entering because the law says there's a manner in which you're allowed to do that. It sounds contradictory, but that's what the law says. And it wouldn't have this part right here. What other manner would you be allowed to break and enter somebody's place? Now, again, this is why you do it on the right property, though, because the property that I'm going to see tomorrow, the owners died. So those are the perfect ones. There's no heirs, there's no next of kin, and so this property is like easy. This is the textbook property to adverse possess. So that answers the question about trespassing. Any other questions? Did you understand that? Whoever asked that question, did y'all understand that? Did y'all get it? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Your ebook is just for Oklahoma? No, my ebook is breaking down the law of Oklahoma so it can show you how to break the laws down in your state. But all the other states, um, they're not as complicated as Oklahoma. But with me breaking down the laws of Oklahoma, it lets you know the principle behind how all this stuff works, if that makes sense. There has to be a living being to say you're trespassing. Yeah, and on that point, the trespassing complaint has to come from the owner. So if the owners died, well, who's going to be complaining? The neighbors can't complain because why? It's not. It's an issue. It's a civil matter. So if it's a civil matter, that means it's between you and a quote unquote owner. So don't let the nosy neighbors bother you. Don't let the police bother you. Why? You have to understand it's civil. That's that's going to help you like gain the confidence that you need because a lot of people are afraid of the trespassing thing. They're afraid of the police. Those are the two main fears that people need to get over, and it's very easy to get over. No, don't come in here. It's very easy to get over because gosh dang, very easy. Dang, hold on, what was I saying? It's very easy to get over because you have the right knowledge to go off of, and you go off of the statutes, which is why I broke the statutes down. So when you break the statutes down, you see just how civil it is in nature and not criminal. And that's why knowing the history is important as well. Because adverse possession stems from the fact that it's only about good property ownership. It's better off. It's based off the fact that land is better used than not used. That's the principle that one of the case law says, and so that's where adverse possession um, comes in. You got a lot of knowledge. Appreciate you speaking. Do you still assist with becoming a national? Of course, I always assist becoming a national, but I don't assist like how people think I do. I always tell people, me assisting you is giving you the knowledge to help clear up the concepts. That's the true status correction. Your status correction is also always going to be changing this first because your mental competency is your status correction. So, however competent or incompetent you are, that's your status. And it's really that simple. I'm smart. Thank you. Thank you. I'm educated. And I stay trying to get y'all see all these books around me. So when people ask about status correction, that's my thing. Like I know exactly what they're asking. Paperwork this, paperwork that. Like I always say, you can't defend it. It's not yours. So a lot of people have been throwing around these remittances and stuff like that, and they're getting templates, but they're not doing the actual study that it requires. And so they always come out, well, what happens when they don't accept it? Well, if you knew the knowledge, then you would know that. You would know why they don't accept it or how to do it correctly. And I'm just saying that based off like the fact that I know how procedures work. I need help getting a place in Florida. All right, depends on does your ebook go over allodial titles? No, it doesn't. Not yet. And again, all this stuff is a process. So my next process is stuff that I'm working on in the background is learning how to get property taxes off the tax roll. That's my next step. And once I get that, I'm giving it back to the people. So if you need help getting a place in Florida, what county are you? Actually, just DM me and we'll try to see what we can do as far as finding you a place in Florida. Because I got to know your county and all that stuff because I go straight to the county assessor's office and I start there. I'm not talking about remittance stuff because that's just not my thing. Also, oh, oh, what's the name of that case? Damn. Hold on, y'all. I need to find a case because it gives another little thing. Case text. Damn. All right, well, I can't think of it, so it slipped my mind. Gosh dang it. Me too in Florida. Everybody in Florida. Okay. Um, can you talk about color of title and non-color title? I did talk about color of title already, and I kind of gave you a little hint as to how people can get a title in their name. But again, I don't like going over that because I feel like it feels dirty to me because like that statute like literally has so many implications in it. I'm in Arizona. Okay, y'all. I want to help a lot of people. This is why I spread the information out in the way I do it. I can't help everybody get into a house. I could just give you the information and let you have the information so where you can implement it and be confident. Like I can't help everybody get in the house as much as I would like to. How long did it take you to acquire your collection of books? I've been collecting books since 2015. I got all these earlier this year for free. $60,000 worth of books for free. The whole American jurisprudence set for free. 60K. Like, man, I'm still trying to find the name of that case, y'all. Like, there was such a huge gem in that case that helps you. There's a certain case that I was looking at. I printed it out, and again, I can't find it right now. But essentially, somebody in there, they hired, I think it was a private investigator or a realtor to find specific property that would be suitable for adverse possession. So this person came back and gave them the property, blah, blah, blah. And that's how they find the abandoned property. So you can hire a realtor or what's the term? It's not private investigator or I forgot the term. That's why I need to find that case. Yeah, that's Taji guy. Do you read a book from beginning to end? So the way I read books, I pretty much go into like what I'm trying to find, and I typically find it. There's no way I'm going to be able to read all this in a lifetime. No way. But like typically, like when I find a book, when I get a book, I'll buy a book just for one sentence in there, just to connect it with something else. And that's how I research. That's how you got to research because there's so much knowledge spread out in everything. Like a forensics person, like a financial forensics person, yeah, something like that, but for real estate. And I forgot the term. Like if I think hard, like I can think about like the case. Like I really want to show y'all too. Just showing where these properties are found. There's a list somewhere. Yeah, there's so many different ways. Like again, like you'll start seeing more abandoned properties just by the fact of you being on this live. Like you'll start to be more cognizant, you'll be more aware because now your knowledge base is a little bit different than what it was 30 minutes ago. So now you're going to see all these things, see an abandoned property, and light bulbs are going to start going off. And then you're going to come back to me, or you're just going to get my ebook, and then you're going to start doing it yourself, and then you make money off of that, blah, blah, blah. These are some of the things that I offer with the ebook. It's how to make money, how to find abandoned properties using tax liens and stuff like that. How about in Hawaii? Where would I start? You start the same place everyone starts. Well, you got to start by learning the law, first of all. That's where you start. Adverse in Canada ended in 1990, believe. No, it ended in certain places because they're getting rid of it in certain places in Canada. All right, should I allow this person? Can you get, can you get adverse possession and rent it out? Yes, you can. And I don't know if you got my upsell, but that's literally what I talk about. And that's part of like the package that I have in there because you can do that. And there's a specific thing in here in this book that I got that from, and like I found out the how to draft the lease for it. You have to have a specific clause in there. So let's say, oh, here it is, right here. You can't see it, but it's called tacking possessions. So let's say you got the property, right? So you're the first person to ever possess it. So now you draft up a lease, and then that person who's under the lease, they have to sign an agreement letting them know that no matter how long they're in possession, it still counts as your possession towards its full statutory period. So let's say you just had it for a day and you rent it to somebody for 5 years or ever. Now, after that 5 year period is up, and the 5 year period is adverse possession in your state, so now you can go to the courthouse and file your quiet title for adverse possession, and you get a clear title in your name. But they were in there the whole time. But based off of that contract, which is called privity, now you're able to they're able to stay there, but the time still accumulates in your possession, in your name and possession. Yeah, my hero. Yeah. How much is your class? Well, since you got in, it's going to be free for people who buy it, and I'm going to go through everything. Like even the stuff I'm going to go through tomorrow, and like I'm filming everything so people can have a more like they can see it. They can see it. They can walk through it with me. So like I'm gonna. This guy hit me up on TikTok. Like he hit me up on TikTok in one of my videos, and so tomorrow I'm meeting up with him at 9:30 a.m. and we're gonna go over the property and we're gonna get the ball rolling on that. See what we can do. Can you find adverse possession or I'm going to say possession on government? Can you adverse possession government property? Um, from what I've read so far, no, you can't do it on public property, and that's a tricky question because that goes into de jure government, fake government, blah blah blah. Oh, we got a stranger in the building. Peace, Evergreen. If I flight you out, will you come help? You ain't gotta flight me out. You looking for a place? You gotta save those coins. I'm trying to get flued out. She's trying to get me flued out. Okay. But I would like to help people like find properties. Obviously, like this one of the things about adverse possession would be the fact that it can combat homelessness. File a complaint there, insurance. No doubt, Danelle. I hope I said that right. Danelle. But any other questions y'all got? I'm about to hop up out of here. If I go live again, I'll go more into the procedural aspect, what to look for and stuff like that. Damn. Okay. Yeah, we got to find you a place ASAP. No problem, y'all. No problem. Again, like if you have any questions, just hit me up. All right, I'm gonna see. All right, dude tried to join but left. Many blessings. Yeah, peace. What's your IG? My IG is Morris Lighthouse. Morris Lighthouse underscore official. Can adverse possession be used on foreclosed properties? Yes, it can, but do I recommend it? No. And the reason I don't recommend it is because that's just going to lead to litigation with the banks. And that's just a whole nother process that you probably don't want to get yourself into if you're already looking for a home. But in the case law, one of the little exiting strategies that people can have if they find themselves, because somebody already jumped the gun and tried to do this shit already and called me like, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. But like one of the case law that I read recently is that if you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, they give you automatic stays. So like That's going to give you an extra 30 to 90 days based on how long the case drags out. And so it's an automatic stay. So that'll give you time to find the property within that time, and just delays you getting kicked out or whatever. Yeah, Lynch, you can just inbox me on IG or you can just inbox me here. IG is Morris Lighthouse _ official. But again, the link is in my bio on TikTok as well. Okay. Oh, so you trying to make sure I hit you up for real, for real. But yeah, if y'all don't have any other questions, I'm gonna get off of here. But yeah, it's been fun. Found it, bro. Okay, good, good. But yeah, so one of the things I encourage people, obviously, I'm going to encourage you to get the upsell, but the information in the ebook is alone is sufficient. Plus, I give you, so hold on. So like all the stuff that I did as far as like getting it on record. This is the Tulsa World new legal newspaper. I give you that when you get the ebook. I give you the templates for the affidavit of adverse possession. I give you the template for the notice of claim of adverse possession, and I'm going to update it with the shit that I showed you earlier from the actual American jurisprudence legal forms. And then there's another thing about injunctions that I'm learning about that you can also use. So let's say, so an injunction pretty much is so it's a writ issued by a court telling somebody to do or not to do something. So protective orders is an injunction. So you can do an injunction on the police in this whole process. It gets them to leave you alone prior to them even messing with you. So they're not to be messing with you. How do you get the ebook? So let me finish the thing about injunction. Um, so with an injunction, yeah, again, so it's a writ issue out of court telling someone to do something or not to do something. And so if you do that in this whole process, you can do that an injunction against the police. How do I get the ebook? Yeah, you just click the link in my bio, and it's the first book there, the number one real estate secret book. Number one real estate secret ebook. It's about adverse possession. So you can click the link in my bio, or you can just go to www.adversepossessionblueprint.com. Some of my family history is from OK. I have questions. Yeah, there's a lot of history here, a lot of history everywhere. So to file for proper transfer of ownership, it needs to get done at the courthouse. Yeah, so that's at the end of the period. You're going to have to do a quiet title, and that's going to clear the title, and you get what's called clear title. This is after statutory period. But if you do the adverse possession claim correctly on the right house, you won't have to worry about the quote unquote owner coming back. Peace and love. And also, like, I have the paperwork for when you do have to file the quiet title after so many years. Like, I have that too on abandoned foreclosures. So I wouldn't mess with foreclosures because that typically signifies that a bank is still operating it. Mm. I've been squatting and cleaning a lot by my house. What name? Hmm? Does it work with commercial property? Yes, it does. Also, another layer for protection. Let me find this real quick. All right, you can get creative with it. The ebook. The name of the ebook is the number one real estate secret. I thought you say you got the book. What's the difference between abandoned and foreclosure? How do you know the difference? So if it's foreclosed, that typically means the bank foreclosed on it. And what they do, they go to the county, get you evicted, then they foreclose on it, blah blah blah, and then they fix the property up to resell it. to the next sucker. Okay. Shit, an abandoned hotel would be dope. All right. So for protection purposes, right? Like this says who can all do adverse possession. In general, corporations, including foreign corporations, and corporations endowed with the power to take land under the law of eminent domain, may acquire title to land by adverse possession. Religious societies can do adverse possession, so churches can do adverse possession, religious corporations, trustees. So let's say you want to start a business and do all this stuff. You can adverse possess in your business name. That way it gives you protection personally. Is this only in Oklahoma? No, patients. Adverse possession is in all 50 states. Adverse possessions also in different countries. So I talk to people. There's a guy in my private group. He's in New Zealand. He's doing adverse possession in New Zealand. There's people in Mexico that have acquired about it, and another one in the UK that all have acquired about adverse possession. To me personally, because they have the laws over there. Like I said, it's an ancient concept, and so when people come talking to me like I'm scamming somebody, it's like y'all really don't know the history. How to find homes? Okay, you just got here. I'm guessing you just got here. Find homes. There's different ways. You can hire a realtor to find you a property that's suitable for adverse possession. You got to give them those parameters. Um, yeah, I spoke over all this already. Yeah, Hawaii and Alaska, blah blah blah. Point is, like the laws are still there. To find homes, travel, look around in your area. You got to look for distressed properties. So let's say overgrown grass is a physical trait of abandoned property. You can go up and see if the water, like you can go outside, if the water's off, that's typically a sign. Overgrown trees, it just looks real bad on the outside. You'll know it when you see it. Like just, yeah, like Sasha said, just drive around. That's kind of one of the best ways to do it. It's time consuming, but the place where I'm going tomorrow, it's actually in a good place. And so a lot of these older generations, some of them are dying off without any heirs, intestate, no next of kin. And so these properties are just going to be sitting there until the state comes in and do what's called, they're going to probate it or put a tax lien on it, and then they're going to sell it. Absentee owner, yes, that's the one. Absentee owners. Because if you look at batchleads.io, you can look for that term specifically, absentee owner combined with a mortgage-free property, and they'll pop up properties. But that's $249 a month. I think it would be good to have that for just 1 month to see what you can find. No, I didn't have an account Indigenous 009. Yeah, just hold on. I'm not good with letting people up.
What's
Peace.
going on, brother? Man, I follow you, man. I know you don't know me from the man in the moon, but I watch you come across my phone page, and I'm definitely a fan. Uh, Not only am I a fan, I was going to say I respect you highly
Appreciate
for your
that.
knowledge and the things that you bring to the people who just simply don't know, because you don't know what you don't know at the end of the day, right?
Facts.
Uh,
You got a
the
question?
absentee owner, people need to understand that this stuff is so real. And I actually got a book called Homes for Free, but it's an extremely doggish way to take property, but it's legal. It seems so unethical, but it's so legal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People need to get past that because it's like
Right.
if they
Yes.
if they knew how unethical mortgages really were and what they're doing behind the scenes, it's like
So,
you would see adverse possession like it's just the cleanest thing ever.
and people need to get in their mind. So I learned the root word of mortgage probably when I was 28, 29 years old. And I told myself I will pay rent to the day I die because mort means death. engage means pledge. So it's a death pledge. A mortgage is a death pledge. You know what I'm saying? And it's ironic they on 15, 30-year terms. People pass away before they're even done with it. They refinance. It's perpetual. It's another 15 years. I mean, so it's a death pledge. And you know, I'm a firm believer, own nothing but control everything. So,
Yep. Exactly.
you know, but the absentee owner and what you talking about, the adverse possession, the
Hmm.
tall grass going to cut it, sending the address to the address that it ain't there. They got it 2 weeks there. Everybody, people don't understand that. Then you can go put a lien on it, beat up people. You
Yeah.
know where I'm going with that. You know
Yeah.
exactly.
With the mechanics lien. Hold on. I got something for that too. Like that's just
And then
there's
it's your
just so many
property.
different
People don't. It's
strategies.
called homes for free. People don't know that shit. And then you gonna drop a land patent on the same house. It's a wrap.
Yeah. Specifically talking about that.
What's up, Sasha? Sasha, one of your moderators?
Yeah.
I know a person. Yeah, yeah, I know Sasha. Yeah, absolutely. You got a great moderator. She don't play.
Oh, she don't play at all. I'm glad she on here too. Cause she like me. Like I don't like dealing with the bullshit.
Hey, that's a mod that be modded.
I don't got time for it. Man, I'm trying to find this thing. Uh,
So, and you said it's an ancient process. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it don't change. It's pretty much almost retroactive per state. It's almost the same process per state, almost damn near. You might have a little twerks per, you know, like for California and Florida, little
yeah,
twerk, but the mechanics of it, it's all the same
it's all
process.
the same.
It
Exactly. And
is.
that's why I tell people like the way I broke it down in my state, it kind of makes it easier for everybody else because other states they have the adverse possession statute, which simply says adverse possession. Here's what you need to do, stuff like that. They don't give you the forms and stuff because you gotta go to law library and stuff like that. But like once you learn how to break it down, you get the principles behind it. You get more educated on the process, and so it's easier to defend.
So I put adverse possession in Playground, which is basically Chat GPT, where they actually made Chat GPT at. So I use artificial intelligence a lot. So
Hmm.
and it broke down adverse possession quite well and
Yeah.
gave some very quite interesting things what you can do to use claim of
Hmm.
right, all type of stuff, man.
Yeah, but what's tricky about them though, you gotta stay on Chat GPT because they be lying about some case law. Like you gotta fact check some. You gotta fact check them sometime.
I don't use it for case law. So for people that need to use for case law, they actually have a whole separate program that's dedicated that actually law firms use, and it's
Hmm.
called Case Text. It's with
Yeah,
Case Text, but it's called Co-Counsel. It's called Co-Counsel. Have you heard of Co-Counsel?
not co-counsel. No.
You would love co-counsel. So they
Hmm.
got two versions. They got three versions. They got a free version, a $200 version, and a $500 version. But it's actually designed for law firms to use for AI, artificial intelligence, to do all case studies, state and federal. It has all UCC. And this is used by law firms to actually do the work of paralegals
Hmm.
without having a paralegal. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does depositions. You can feed a case study. You can actually feed an entire case, and it'll give you what it think you should do for remedy.
Yeah.
It'll write depositions. It'll write affidavits. Do motions. It's on a neural network. It's one of the coldest things I've ever seen when it came to law. And I said,
Hmm.
this shit gonna change the game. This gonna hurt a lot of people. This gonna help a lot of people. What I mean by
Yeah.
hurt a lot of people, meaning that then people who be like, go feed a car contract and watch it tell you the consumer law, and pull up TILA and everything. Watch. I done did it already. So right, I did it so it give you a 7-day free trial to use the $500 version for 7 days. And I took an old car contract and uploaded it in there, and they gave me all the consumer law where they actually I said show me everything where they breached the contract based on consumer law and TILA, and
Hmm.
it pulled it all out. It was like 8, 9 different things that pull, even dealing with the
Yeah.
promissory note. I was like, damn, blew my mind.
It's a game
So
changer. Hold on.
so yeah,
All
it's
right.
called
So
case
hold on
text.
real
I'm
quick.
sorry.
So for the people who ask about my ebook, you can get it on. You can click the link in my bio, either on here or on Instagram, Morris Lighthouse. underscore official. The name of the ebook is the number one real estate secret. It's about adverse possession. To www.adversepossessionblueprint.com or just click the link in my bio.
What's it? I can buy the ebook where?
Um, adverse
www.
possession, adversepossessionblueprint.com. What do you mean, how about land? So, adverse possession is you possessing the land. If it has a house on it, that's a bonus, but it's always about the land. And again, I'm going to do a different class. Like, I plan on doing like a full blown, quote unquote, master class where I go through everything, all my notes, all the stuff that's in the law books, everything. But I'm about to get off of here. It's been good talking to you guys. Good building with you, Mr. Stay Ready. I appreciate the knowledge.
No, I appreciate you.
Right back at you.
But I'm 45. I would consider you a mentor. So, at a large degree, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Everybody are well versed in their thing. So, and
Yeah,
you definitely know your shit.
yeah. I'm staying in this lane and I'm perfecting it before I go into anything else.
That's how you do it.
But again, tomorrow I'm going to be actually meeting up with somebody. I'm going to be recording it. We're going to be starting from A to Z. I'm going to give out this process, but that's only going to be available for the private members in the group. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till next time.
Thank
Peace.
you.